Tonight.
It's not only an attack on Minister Smith and myself, it's an attack on community.
A government minister speaks out against political violence after a fire at her constituency office. Also tonight, a safe space.
This is a place where women will not only be safe, but where they will be seen, heard, and celebrated.
A new 24/7 refuge for Indigenous women at risk of violence. Plus, rock and roll.
I think for us, the biggest thing is we love this city, we love the music scene here.
How a local venue hopes a new ride can help bands and the community.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We're hearing tonight from the provincial government minister at the center of political controversy. Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine says Manitoba is seeing a disturbing shift towards political violence. Fontaine spoke out today about a recent fire at her constituency office, which is where CTV's Jeff Keel is standing by live tonight. So, Jeff, what kind of damage was done to her office?
Well, take a look, Marilee. You can see that the windows are boarded up and there's large cracks on the glass as well. And take a look over here. This is the door. It does say closed and there's a sign on it saying Nahanni does not own the building. Quit damaging it. And it's signed by somebody named Richard. Minister Fontaine says this is not normal.
A defiant Families Minister says despite fires and vandalism at her office and her cabinet colleagues, they aren't going anywhere.
And no amount of attacks will ever push us out of this.
Nahanni Fontaine's constituency office on Main Street is boarded up. It's been hit twice. This week, a fire. Before that, windows were smashed. Fontaine says this is not just an attack on her, but it's also an attack on her staff being able to serve constituents in a safe way.
And it's just not normal. It's not normal that in this day and age, somebody can be so angry that they would think that political violence is the path to go down.
This comes after calls by some for the Premier to remove Fontaine from cabinet. She was caught complaining about an ASL interpreter earlier this summer. She also shared a controversial online post following Charlie Kirk's murder. But she's not the only NDP cabinet minister to have her office damaged. Over the summer, there have been multiple fires and windows broken at Addictions and Homelessness Minister Bernadette Smith's office as well.
It's taken, a toll on mental health with our staff, with Minister Fontaine and I.
Fontaine points out she and Smith are the first First Nations women in cabinet in Manitoba history.
Women politicians have been particularly targeted.
Adjunct Professor of Political Science Chris Adams says attacks on MLA offices are uncommon, but political violence is on the rise.
There's been a green light from certain segments of the political population down the United States, and that's given a green light for other people in Canada.
Both of the offices are closed and the staff is working from home or the legislature. There is now talk of beefing up security at all MLA offices.
We've really had to be careful. It's really heightened how we do our jobs and how, who we're meeting with.
Now, Minister Smith says her staff will meet with constituents in the community, but in public spaces.
Jeff, you've been covering politics here in Manitoba for a couple of decades now. Have you ever seen anything like this?
You do see MLA offices get vandalized from time to time, like graffiti and things like that. But to see two offices hit this many times in a short period of time, it does seem rare. The Winnipeg Police have said that the Major Crimes Unit is investigating.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Striking Canada Post workers took to the streets of downtown Winnipeg today. About 100 postal workers marched at Portage in Maine over the noon hour. The strike was called after Ottawa announced a series of service cuts aimed at putting Canada Post back on solid financial ground. Some of the proposals include cutting door-to-door service in favor of community mailboxes. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says it's time Canada Post delivers a contract offer.
We want Canadians to reach out to your MPs to tell them it's important for you to maintain your door-to-door delivery, not only for the average Canadians, especially those who are senior citizens and can't get out, as well as people with disabilities. It's important to raise your voices because we want to support you and we want to have that delivered door-to-door as it should be, and we want to deliver coast to coast to coast.
The workers marched from downtown to the Canada Post Office in St. Boniface. There are roughly 1,600 postal workers here in Winnipeg. A stabbing in northern community has left a man dead and a woman in custody. RCMP were called to a home in South Indian Lake yesterday afternoon. They found a 54-year-old man with stab wounds. He died a short time later. RCMP are treating the death as a homicide. Mounties arrested a 53-year-old woman who is now in police custody. No word yet on any charges being laid. The first phase of the multi-million-dollar project to expand and modernize St. Boniface Hospital's emergency room is open to the public tonight. And once finished, those renovations will triple the ER size. This as the province continues to grapple with long wait times and physician shortages. CTV's Catherine Dow is standing by live with those details. So Catherine, what's included in this first phase?
Marilee, an expanded resuscitation area, a designated diagnostic image suite with a new CT scanner and X-ray machine, and an expanded waiting room and triage area. Those are just a few of the improvements. There's also new amenities said to improve patient and staff experience at the hospital, while maximizing functionality and flexibility. Construction began on this in April 2022 under the Stephenson government, with a then budget of $141 million, $10 million of which came from the St. Boniface Hospital Foundation. Now, according to the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority, the next phase, which involves renovating the existing emergency department facility, will be finished and operational by 2026. Once completed, over 18,000 square feet of existing space will be renovated and 86,000 square feet in new construction will be added. That will triple the ER size. Now, with construction still ongoing on that second phase, the WRHA says the public will still deal with some construction, like boarded off areas and temporary pathways. The health authority says this will not impact patient care.
Catherine, with all this added capacity, will there be enough healthcare workers to staff it?
Well, that is the question, Marilee. So the WRHA did report that St. Boniface's emergency department nurse vacancy rate fell drastically from 24.3% to 7.3% between August 2024 to August of 2025. But on the physician's end, numbers from Doctors Manitoba provided in August showed that while the province has a record number of licensed physicians practicing here, Manitoba still has the second lowest number per capita in all of Canada.
All right, thanks for this, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Indigenous women at risk of violence, homelessness, and exploitation in Winnipeg will soon have a safe place to go 24 hours a day. Design plans for Minowayak Ikwayak Lodge were unveiled today. The name of the center means all women doing well. And those behind it say that is the intention behind every part of this new space. The lodge at 510 Selkirk Avenue will have 10 bedrooms along with a kitchen and dining area. Women in need can access the space by referral and stay for up to 48 hours. Counseling, cultural wellness spaces, and support will all be offered, as well as transportation to the facility and a crisis response line.
This is a place where women will not only be safe, but where they will be seen, heard, and celebrated. A place where gifts, knowledge, and lived experiences can be shared. A place of empowerment and healing.
Construction of the 24/7 safe space broke ground today with a $3.5 million investment from the province. The hope is to have it open by next summer. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your sunny Skywatch forecast. Boy, another nice day out there today.
Still sunny, still exceptionally warm. That is going to be changing in the coming days, but another day, another set of heat records. First day of October, many communities set records in Manitoba, primarily in the north. We'll drill a little deeper down into that coming up, but a look ahead at these changing conditions as well. Right now, though, a beautiful start to this Thursday evening, but let's take a look through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Nice blue sky out there, 25 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 14 kilometers an hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 30%.
Thanks, Colleen. Your Winnipeg Transit transfer will soon be good for a little while longer. Starting Monday, transfers will be valid for 90 minutes instead of 75. City Councillor Brian Mays proposed the idea to City Council back in August. Winnipeg Transit says passengers have voiced the need for a longer transfer window since the launch of the new network. You can request a transfer from the bus driver when you board the bus and pay your fare. A 27-year-old man has died after a rollover in western Manitoba. It happened yesterday morning. Portage La Prairie RCMP and EMS responded to the crash. Highway 16 south of Westbourne. RCMP say the driver was traveling at a high rate of speed and at a curve in the highway hit the ditch and rolled the vehicle. Air travelers in Winnipeg and across Canada could face delays after an outage at border inspection kiosks. The Canada Border Services Agency says multiple Canadian international airports were impacted. The issue has been resolved, but travelers may still experience delays in the short term. The kiosks are located at major airports across the country and are used by passengers touching down from international flights. The incident was connected to an earlier outage this week. And Canada has now updated its U.S. travel advisory, warning people with gender-neutral passports. Global Affairs says people who have an X gender marker on their passports may not be able to cross at some borders, including the U.S.-Canada border. Officials confirm approximately 550 Nexus applications with an X identifier were submitted for approval between January 2022 and March of this year. It comes as U.S. President Donald Trump is escalating the fight in U.S. courts to include only two sexes on American federal documents. Manitoba Health has identified a new measles exposure site in Portage La Prairie. Health officials found a case of measles at the Portage District General Hospital emergency room. Anyone who was there between the night of September 24th to the afternoon of September 25th should monitor for symptoms until October 17th. If you were there, check your immunization records and ensure you're up to date with the measles vaccine. Measles symptoms normally appear within 7 to 21 days after exposure and may include fever, runny nose, drowsiness, red eyes, and small white spots inside the mouth. You can visit the Manitoba Health website for more information. A South End Community Centre is celebrating the completion of a big expansion project.
Thank you again to everybody, and welcome to Southdale.
Southdale Community Centre has always been known as a hub for hockey, but now the facility boasts much more than just ice time. There's a new fitness facility, new accessible washrooms and change rooms, and some boardrooms. The center's president says the expansion offers families more recreational opportunities.
We have taekwondo, we have team training, we have so many different things that we can ignite now, because it wasn't just a gym. We're putting up new boardrooms, new social hall additions, and things like that as well. So we have truly gone in a number of different directions as far as an expansion for Southdale.
The center also has a new anchor tenant. U-Turn Parkinson's will use the facility to offer its services to those living with the disease. Some cannabis products sold in Manitoba are being recalled. Health Canada says Winter Mint Chillo's cannabis extract and Cinnamon Chillo's cannabis extract have different amounts of THC than the label would suggest. The pouches have more than 10 milligrams of THC, and there is significantly variability between the THC in the pouches. Officials warn this could lead to over-intoxication and temporary negative health consequences from a THC overdose. If you have these products, you're asked to return them to the place of purchase or dispose of them. Winnipeg police have increased patrols around synagogues after an incident in the United Kingdom. A man drove a car into a crowded synagogue in Manchester and began stabbing people. British police are calling the attack an act of terror. CTV's Heather right now on the fear and heightened security at synagogues everywhere.
On this, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, an attack at a synagogue. Police say a man wearing what appeared to be an explosive vest first drove a car into people gathered outside a temple in Manchester, England, then got out of his car and attacked others with a knife. He was then shot dead by police while trying to get inside the building. 2 people were killed, 4 others injured.
We shouldn't be scared to feel or believe in what we believe.
The attack has been deemed an act of terror and occurred in an area of Manchester home to many Orthodox Jews. It comes at a time of heightened fears in the Jewish community and rising anti-Semitism around the world. The man suspected of carrying out the attack has been identified as 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami. 3 other people have been arrested as well on suspicion of commission, preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism and remain in custody.
I'm already able to say that additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do everything to keep our Jewish community safe.
Here at home, security has also increased outside of synagogues. Toronto Police announced last month they would increase patrols throughout the high holidays, as well as during the lead up to the 2-year anniversary of the Hamas attacks of October 7th.
Scary times, obviously, okay, and it's crazy. It's crazy. This cannot continue.
If you can always justify our murder, then it doesn't stop.
Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney called the Manchester synagogue attack an appalling anti-Semitic atrocity, vowing we will always protect the inalienable rights of Jewish communities to live their lives free from intimidation and threats of violence.
And despite the increased security, there is a fear within the Jewish community, a concern that what happened in England could happen here. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Winnipeg police encourage anyone who sees suspicious activity to report it to police so officers can respond. A celebration of Mahatma Gandhi's life was held at the Forks today.
As we reflect Gandhi's legacy, let us remember, I've always had this quote every year, be the change what we wish to see in the world.
October 2nd marks Gandhi's birthday and the United Nations International Day of Nonviolence. Speakers shared messages urging peace and understanding in front of the Gandhi statue, nestled on a path near the Canadian Museum for Human Rights.
For years, we've been taught about the principles of peace, nonviolence, and human rights. In today's time, it is becoming more and more relevant that we start respecting and upholding those principles as a core value versus just talking about them. And this is a continued step in our way of educating and promoting these principles to the world and really celebrating those values.
As part of the ceremony, a garland wreath was placed around the statue. It honors what Gandhi stood for, what he achieved, and what those accomplishments mean to others. 2 planes collided on the ground at a New York airport today. We'll show you what happened after the break. And how did a successful season affect the value of the Winnipeg Jets? Sportico lists the most valuable teams in the NHL. See where Winnipeg ranks. Peavey Mart is charting a comeback. After closing all of its stores earlier this year, the farm goods retailer says it now plans to open between 7 and 12 stores. It will target Alberta first with late fall openings. The company says it will also eventually open locations in other markets in which it used to operate. Turning to the markets now, the price of oil fell $1.30 US per barrel. The Canadian dollar saw a slight dip as well. Gold lost $29 US. The TSX gained 52 points. The Dow Jones added 78 points, while the Nasdaq climbed 88 points. Winnipeg police have laid charges following a scary moment for a mother and her children. She was confronted by a man with a handgun who approached her in a threatening way as she was picking up her kids from school yesterday. It happened in the 900 block of Brazier Street. As the mom drove away, the man drew a black handgun from his waistband. Police say he then approached a group of young people, pulling out the gun and pointed it at them. Police found the man and arrested him behind an apartment complex and recovered 2 air pistols. Investigators say the incidents are believed to be random and unprovoked. A 19-year-old is now facing several weapons-related charges. He was released on an undertaking. The value of the Winnipeg Jets franchise is rising. Sportico says the Jets are worth more than $1.3 billion. That's a jump of 21% since last year. Despite the increase, though, the Jets are still the second least valuable franchise in the NHL. The average value of an NHL franchise is $2.1 billion. The most valuable team? Well, if you guessed the Toronto Maple Leafs, you're right. They're worth $4.25 billion US. The New York Rangers are the second most valuable NHL team, followed by the Montreal Canadiens. Delta Airlines is now looking into what happened after two of its jets collided at New York's LA LaGuardia Airport. It happened last night. The wing of one aircraft slammed into the cockpit window of the other. One of the planes had 57 passengers on board. The other had 28 at the time. The incident didn't impact airport operations. Officials say one person, though, had to be taken to hospital. A ground search has now been called off for a 6-year-old boy who went missing in a mountainous part of Alberta. Darius McDougall was reported missing 11 days ago while on a family camping trip in Crow's Nest Pass. His family says he's on the autism spectrum. After an extensive search, RCMP say the investigation continues, but they do not expect to find him alive. The federal government has officially launched a single procurement agency for its big defense purchases. The new Defense Investment Agency aims to cut red tape to get the Canadian Armed Forces the equipment it needs faster. CTV's Judy Trin is taking a closer look at what it means in the context of a trade war.
Of all the billions of dollars Canada spends on military equipment, 75% of it goes to suppliers in the United States. A former fighter pilot turned politician says the new Defense Investment Agency will change that.
We're not going to be spending 75 cents of our dollar south. We'll be amortizing that money out in Canada where we can, and then spending it in other places where we have to.
The agency aims to cut red tape and duplication. It will aim to prioritize selecting Canadian companies on big contracts valued at more than $100 million for equipment like drones, small arms, and shipbuilding. But there are no targets for how much less they want to spend on American weapons. The first major decision the agency will make involves procuring up to a dozen new submarines to replace Canada's aging fleet. But the minister says the purchase of more F-35s from the U.S. is still under review. Canada could buy fighter jets from Sweden instead.
There's no pressure on us to make a decision until we're ready to make a decision. We're a sovereign country.
The slow play comes as trade talks drag on. Before a Senate committee, the country's top negotiator tempered expectations.
Resolvable might mean going back to where we were a year ago. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I think we can be in a lot better position over time than we find ourselves in today.
The federal government also wants to use these big procurement contracts as leverage to encourage foreign companies to set up manufacturing here while increasing market access for Canadian companies overseas. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Police in California have made a bizarre traffic stop, which is kind of a sign of the times. They pulled over a Waymo autonomous vehicle for making an illegal U-turn. But if no one is behind the wheel, there's no one to ticket. California lawmakers are now working on creating rules for ticketing self-driving vehicles. Waymo is the subsidiary of Google's parent company, Alphabet. It says it's now working on reprogramming cars so they don't make illegal moves like this in the future. Well, remember that fat bear contest we told you about? There is a winner to tell you about.
Just in the results, final battle in 2025. Number 32 Chunk is crowned as the winner for the competition.
Chunk got 92,350 votes to win Fat Bear Week 2025 this year. Bears bulk up at this time of year for the Alaska winter. Early in the year, the average bear weighs about 800 pounds, but by the end of the year, they hit around 1,200 pounds, with some, likely Chunk, getting as big as 1,400 pounds. Still ahead on CTV News tonight. The funeral for a Canadian man shot and killed while on a golf trip in Wisconsin. The heartbreaking goodbye.
The long-range forecast starts for Winnipeg with the weekend. Saturday, there's a chance, and a pretty good chance, we could see showers, maybe a thunderstorm on Saturday, but still a mix of sun and cloud, 21 degrees, but rain, very strong chance of it by Saturday night, and continuing all throughout the day on Sunday with a high of just 13 degrees. Now, we brighten up on Monday right through to the midweek, but you notice the temperature's a lot cooler all of a sudden, but much closer to normal for this time of year.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A funeral was held today for Mike Robinson, the Canadian man who was shot and killed while on a golf trip in Wisconsin last week. One suspect has been arrested in connection to his death. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has more from Oshawa, Ontario.
A moving acoustic tribute as a grieving family gathers around an open casket to say a final, heartbreaking goodbye. With hockey jerseys lining the walls, Mike Robinson's older brother took a deep breath as he began to deliver an emotional eulogy.
Mikey wore many jerseys. Son and brother first, then teammate, then came along husband, and just weeks ago, one of the most proudest that he put on, dad.
Just 6 weeks ago, the 32-year-old and his wife welcomed a baby daughter into the world.
Your dad loved you onwards. You'll learn this laugh from the stories we share. The videos that you'll see.
Last Wednesday, the new father experienced another lifetime achievement, sinking his first hole-in-one at a Wisconsin golf course he dreamed of playing. One of his first phone calls after draining the shot was to his brother Jacob back in Canada.
He celebrated with pride of someone who understood that perfect moments are truly rare.
Mikey! A few short hours later, Mike Robinson was murdered.
A subject who was shot.
Robinson was walking to his hotel after dinner in Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, when he was shot. The 35-year-old has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Raised in Stouffville, Ontario, Robinson played hockey in the OHL, ECHL, and in Europe. Now living in Pennsylvania, he was scheduled to fly back to Canada this weekend for his sister's wedding, which is now being postponed.
Know this, Mikey will be there. He'll be there in the first look, in the bows, and the laughter of all the speeches.
With the family now hosting a somber celebration of life, there has been an outpouring of support. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been donated to an online fundraiser, and there were more flowers sent than the family could fit in a single room for this service.
This story is not a headline. Even on this last day, Mikey did find joy. He shared it, and he gave it away freely.
With grace and gratitude, Jacob Robinson shared that part of his brother's legacy was witnessed here today. A community showing up, just like Mike always did, and caring for each other through the most difficult days. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Oshawa, Ontario.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with your complete Skywatch forecast, and this unseasonably warm fall keeps breaking records.
Yeah, not just here in the south and in northern Manitoba as well. The first day of October yesterday saw a lot of communities across the province, a couple in the south, but mostly in the north set new heat records. Now, Barons River, technically in the southern half of the province, this was an interesting record. Take a close look at this. 24.7 degrees, the new record, eclipsing the previous one, 22.2. Not a huge, I mean, it is a big margin meteorologically in terms of the temperature, but look how long that record stood. We have to go all the way back to 1912. So 100, well over 100 years, 113 years that record stood until yesterday. Churchill, look at the difference between those two temperatures. 24.2 degrees set yesterday. The previous record set 48 years ago, 1977, when it was 18.6 degrees, and that was a long-standing record as well. But many other communities, as you saw there, also set those warm weather records yesterday. We're not going to see many warm weather records being set in the days ahead. Temperatures will inevitably start to cool down, but it's been a good run if you've enjoyed these warmer temperatures. If you want more of a fall feel, you will get your wish pretty soon. You saw that long-range forecast for Winnipeg, but heading into the night ahead, still quite pleasant. Clear in most areas in the south, east into northwestern Ontario. Some light cloud over over parts of northern Manitoba, and a little bit of light rain too making its way out of the northeast. We've actually had a pair of cold fronts making their way across Manitoba today. As we head into tonight, though, winds reasonably light here in the southeast will stay fairly clear. We might see some cloud buildup. There's a very slight chance of some showers in the south tonight, but in the southeast, I should say. In the southwest, the chance is greater. Places like Brandon, don't be surprised if you see showers late tonight or overnight. Lesser chance as you get into tomorrow, but the difference will be some pretty strong northeast winds through the Brandon area. You can see, though, much brighter skies through central and northern parts of the province. Here in Winnipeg, more of a mix of sun and cloud, but there is a chance at both ends of the day that we could see a shower or two with a thunderstorm risk in the afternoon. We get into Friday night, things start to change. Now, we could see some showers, or very likely we will, north of Winnipeg, but we can't rule them out further south through the Red River Valley. Into northwestern Ontario, all that rain goes overnight into Saturday. Cloudy start to the day for most areas in the south, although we get that pocket of sunshine here in the southeast. And then into a Saturday night, there is another approaching low pressure system that will bring rain to the Winnipeg area and other parts of the south. For tonight, there is, I would call it, a slight chance at this point of evening showers, otherwise partly cloudy. Light winds until we get to the overnight, when they strengthen ever so slightly out of the east. 13 is our overnight low. Tomorrow morning up 1 to 14. Mix of sun and clouds, skewing a little on the cloudy side. Chance of very early morning showers with those east winds continuing. Shifting coming from the west in the afternoon, but not strengthening. 24, another warm high tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud, but there is the risk of thunderstorms. Up into the northeast tonight, partly cloudy for Churchill, all the way down to 3 degrees, 6 for Gillam. Fog overnight for Island Lake. Thompson drops to 2. Cloudy there. You stay cloudy in Thompson tomorrow with a high of 14 degrees. In the northwest tonight, look for fog in Norway House. Cloudy for Lynn Lake. Partly cloudy for Flin Flon and the Paw. The Paw, a little cloudy there tomorrow, up to 16 degrees. Flin Flon cloudy as well, 17 there. In the southwest tonight, as I mentioned, a good chance of showers for most areas, including Dauphin as well. Fog for Swan River, 7 there overnight. Cloudy around the region tomorrow, 21 degrees for Brandon and Neepawa, 19 for the Dauphin area. Winnipeg in the southeast, partly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows right around 13. Again, there's that chance of showers tomorrow with highs in the low to mid 20s. And in northwestern Ontario, clouding overnight for Kenora down to 12. Clouds stick around in your community with a high of 24, but 27 in the sunshine for Fort Frances. To our weather photos. Now, how beautiful is this fall photo of Winnipeg? That photo is from Michelle. And you know who's enjoying these fall conditions? This crew. Now, we've got these 4 doggos here. We have Lexi and Lexi in the middle, and on either side, bookended by Monty and Nova. That was out at the Brenda Leipzig Dog Park here in Winnipeg. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Coming up, remembering Jane Goodall, including her visits to our city, the impact her work and message has to this day on the care of animals at Assiniboine Park Zoo. Plus, current medical guidelines recommend screening stop for cervical cancer at age 65. Why many experts say that needs to change. Medical Watch is next. Tributes continue to pour in for Jane Goodall following news of her death yesterday at 91. Her study of chimpanzees in the wild really opened the world's eyes to understanding humans' closest relative in the animal world. And joining me now to reflect on her work and legacy is Stephen Peterson, Director of Conservation and Research at Assiniboine Park Conservancy. Stephen, good to speak with you.
Great to speak with you as well.
I'm curious what Jane Goodall meant to you. I know she made a couple trips to Winnipeg over her career. Did you ever have the chance to meet her?
Yeah, I saw her speak when she was here in 2017 and was receiving the honorary doctorate from the University of Winnipeg, but I never got a chance to meet and speak with her in person. She was kind of just always been a presence in my scientific kind of career. Has always been just a great scientist and a great conservationist.
Let's talk a bit about the impact she's had. I know Assiniboine Park Zoo has a few primate species in its care. How has her work changed the way you care for them at the zoo, and really, you know, the way everyone today looks at these animals?
Yeah, it's such a wide-reaching impact that she's had. It's hard to kind of quantify it. But so on the science side, and we have scientists here, she really changed how we think about animals and how we connected with animals. And then on the zoo side, it's really, she was always fighting for the best possible care for animals in zoos, not just primates. And not only was she working and looking for the best for those animals, she also recognized that zoos play a really important role, both in, raising awareness, education, and field conservation. So even though she felt so strongly and cared so much about those animals in the wild, she knew what the role of different organizations could be to make it better for everyone.
Yeah, an interesting point you bring up, because I know she was asked often over the years about her stance on zoos and actually advocated for larger enriched enclosures, something Assiniboine Park Zoo has shifted to in recent years. Have you noticed changes about how the animals' quality of lives are since those changes have been made?
Yeah, it's been an ongoing process, and I think that's why she really put her weight behind the AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums accreditation, because it always pushes us to do better and build bigger. And visitors to the zoo in Winnipeg probably are wondering, like, why don't we have chimps and why don't we have gorillas? We just have these small apes and small monkeys. And it's really taking that on board. We don't have the big spaces and the big exhibits that we can keep those animals indoor in our cold Winnipeg winter. So we've chosen smaller species that we can care for and give the proper space for. So her kind of like forcing us all to be critically thinking about what the care and the spaces that we're giving has guided our decisions.
Interesting. A lot of reflection taking place since we got the news of her death. What do you think Jane Goodall's legacy will be?
Yeah, it's going to be in so many places. So scientifically, I know there's generations of researchers that are thinking about animals as like intelligent and thoughtful beings that we need to keep track of that personality. But even more, she was part of public discourse. So, I can talk to my mom about her work and she'll know who Jane Goodall is and some of the things that she's done. So that wide, broad public engagement and the conservation programs that she put in place have really permeated how we think about not only great apes, but about conservation in so many ways. And I think that's really going to be that legacy. She's raised the bar across all society.
Well, Stephen, I want to thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
Free arts programming kicks off at Winnipeg's Meraki Theatre this weekend, and it's all focused on mental health and well-being.
We find that it's so important, and the arts already do so much for mental health, so we wanted to create something where we really dove in a little deeper, and we offered programming that is centered around mental health.
Meraki Theatre has been putting on its Stronger Together program since 2021 after the loss of one of its students. The student-run theatre company is teaming up with KidThink and Huddle to offer the free classes. Youth between 7 and 18 can take part in dance, musical theatre, songwriting, and more during the week-long event. It all kicks off this Saturday. You can register your kids for classes online at merakitheatre.com. Cervical cancer isn't just a young woman's disease. A new study suggests women over 65 remain at risk even though screening is no longer recommended for that age group. Melissa Adan reports.
According to a new study published in the Journal of Gynecology and Obstetrics Clinical Medicine, women aged 65 and older are more likely to be diagnosed with high-risk HPV infections and abnormal cervical cells than younger women. This matters because HPV causes 95% of cervical cancers. Common signs of cervical cancer to watch for include unusual bleeding, pelvic pain, or pain during sex, but often there are no symptoms until the cancer is advanced. You should consider any vaginal bleeding after menopause suspicious. Current guidelines often stop screening for cervical cancer at age 65. Many experts say that needs to change. Older women who were never vaccinated or under-screened may still be at risk. If you're a woman in your senior years who has never had regular pap smear or an HPV test, it's worth having a discussion with your doctor. You can request a screening. Doing so could save your life. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Coster Denture Clinic.
The CTV Spotlight is next.
The more times the Canadians digest and consume Canadian content, the happier I am.
Brett Budd is touring Canada. CTV News talks to the Canadian comic about his upcoming Winnipeg show.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Honeymoon Suite with guest Lee Aaron.
He is an award-winning Canadian comedian. He created the hit CTV show Corner Gas, and he's bringing his tour to Winnipeg.
Oh, I hate the hand blowers. You ever walk into a public bathroom, you see the hand blower, and you just turn around and leave? Oh, I'm not going to deal with that. I'll go pee in the parking lot. I'm not dealing with that.
We are talking, of course, about Brent Butt, the 2025 Brent Butt Asset Show. That's right. It's hitting the Burton Cummings Theatre Saturday night. His funny and warm show, Corner Gas, was named Funniest Show on TV by TV Guide readers. Butt joined us this morning on CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
It's just me doing stand-up, just a middle-aged / old guy doing stand-up, but it's such a fantastic venue. I love playing the Burt, and I'm really looking forward to coming back.
Brent Butt performs at the Burton Cummings Theatre Saturday night at 8 o'clock. There are still a few tickets left. Visit burtoncummingstheatre.ca for those. A Made in Manitoba sitcom is returning for a 4th season later this month.
You want to help me help you win my girlfriend back from you?
Precisely. Let me in so we may plot.
No, I like you better out there. If we're going to win Rose back, we need to break you guys up.
Acting Good is inspired by co-creator and star Paul Rabliauskas' life growing up on the Poplar River First Nation. The series was filmed here in Winnipeg and on the Broken Head Ojibwe First Nation. In season 4, Paul's navigating life as a father in the northern fly-in community. Acting Good returns to CTV Comedy Channel on October 20th, and you can watch the first 3 seasons right now on Crave. Good grief, Charlie Brown. Snoopy and the gang are marking a major milestone today. Peanuts debuted 75 years ago. Charles M. Schultz's comic strip began October 2nd, 1950 in just 7 newspapers. For the next 5 decades, Schultz wrote, drew, inked, and lettered every Peanut strip. Today, the beloved comic strip is still featured in thousands of newspapers around the world and is featured in online syndication, a new streaming series on Apple TV, and much more. Several museums around the country will have exhibits and events this year for Peanuts' 75th anniversary. The anticipation is growing for the release of Taylor Swift's newest album tomorrow.
What is going on with the posture? It's giving no girl, not showgirl. What are we doing?
Who control Taylor Swift better than herself? This promo video features Swift giving herself pointers, poking fun at her bad posture and cat hair on her clothes. This is a promo for an exclusive vinyl edition of the album, The Life of a Showgirl. Her 12th studio album drops tomorrow. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with Hell's Kitchen, and at 8, catch the season premiere of MasterChef Canada. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
I think this could really just help our community.
A unique way to help traveling bands. We'll show you what a local music venue is doing after the long-range forecast.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
A warm start to our Thursday evening in Winnipeg. Looking down into Osborne Village, it is 25 degrees. Still sunny, winds out of the northwest at 14 kilometers an hour. The highest temperature today was 27. The record 1897. We have to go back to 29.4. Last year's temperatures, if you're wondering what that is, not available from Environment Canada. 13, our overnight low tonight, partly cloudy. There's a slight chance of showers both early in the morning and again in the afternoon, with the thunderstorm risk up to 24. We could see showers. There's a chance on Saturday. Rain by Saturday night all through the day on Sunday, Marilee.
Thanks, Colleen. A West Broadway bar and concert venue is breaking down barriers, helping the next wave of bands in our city hit the road.
I think for us, the biggest thing is we love this city. We love the music scene here. We're kind of a staple in it. We've been open for 11 years, and it's just another way we can be involved and give back.
Handsome Daughter co-owner Jesse Kowalski says finding a working and affordable van is a big challenge for up-and-coming musicians heading out on tour, which is why the Sherbrooke Street Bar is now renting out this passenger van so bands can cut down on touring costs. And Kowalski adds the van is also available to people living in the neighborhood.
I think this is something we can also help with, moving sucks, marketplace. Sometimes you buy a couch and it's hard to find someone with a truck. I think this could really just help our community.
The Handsome Daughter plays host to everything from concerts and karaoke to comedy nights and poetry jams. For more information about the van, you can shoot them an email at booking@thehandsomedaughter.com. What a great idea. When we say support local, this is why. You support local, they support their community.
Yeah. Great job.
Great.
Good community service.
Absolutely.
Providing.
Maybe the next big band from Manitoba is going to use that van to get its career started. All right, have a good night.